right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Anime and Paint Cocktail Hour, where creators come to discuss anime and related topics. Y'all know I don't ever know what direction my guests are in. So, to whatever direction this edits out to, I have musician, comedic creator, and Muay Thai champion. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Tavon. Tavon is here. Everybody, cue the applause. All right. I hope I didn't bring up a sore memory right now. I saw on your social media that you were at a Muay Thai tournament,
Man,
and tell us about it.
yeah.
How did you do?
Frustrating. So, hey, no excuses, no excuses. I made it through the first round. My first opponent was badass. I got past him, and then in the finals, it was me versus another guy that happens to be from Maryland, and I didn't do enough to sway the judges. I'll say that. It was a good fight. It's funny. It's like he and I both were like the super happy anime protagonists just ready to get in there and go. Like, we're hugging before the fight. During the fight, we're teasing at each other. We go in, and then afterwards, we're still happy-go-lucky. But I was just like, crap. Like, I thought I did enough in the first and third rounds, but apparently, no, that's not the case. Most of the judges scored the third round in my favor. One of the judges scored the first round in my favor, but overall, he got the victory. Shout out to Carl Anders. So 29-28, he's the champion, and I got the silver medal. That's my first national tournament.
Okay.
So yeah, it was fun. I had the time of my life.
That's what's up. No, like that's what
Mm-hmm.
matters. I mean, winning also matters to a lot of people, but I mean, silver is not bad.
You're as competitive as I can be. Sometimes I forget, like, I've been I've been an athlete most of my life, but I've been out of competition truly for years. So it's like this being my first loss, especially in a martial arts capacity. I'm like, ah, okay. And like my friends, they're just like, are you okay? Is everything fine? Like, guys that didn't see the fight and all that. And I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I don't look like I was in a fight. Okay. So
No,
uh
you don't.
I'm still pretty. I'm fine.
I was just telling him before we started that his skin looks immaculate. No bruising, no knots on his head, just smooth as eggs. So you look like a
I
winner to
tend
me.
I tend to protect myself, even though my coaches are just like, dude, your hands be down, and sometimes you get punched in the face. I'm like, have I ever bled?
Listen, but no. So whenever like I saw, because again, like I observed this from social media, and I was like,
Hmm.
I was just reflecting as far as like what should we talk about on this episode, right? But I didn't. I feel like I wasn't prepared enough, and I didn't ask enough questions. But out of curiosity, have you ever watched Kenichi,
That Kenichi, History's
the
Mightiest
mightiest
Disciple, is one of my favorite animes. Period. That's actually why I chose Muay Thai.
I literally, as soon as I saw Muay Thai, I was like, "Are we ready to have a Kenichi conversation?" I
Apachai.
Yeah, I will say that that is like the one of the first anime I ever got into. Like I think at the very beginning it was, I mean, besides childhood stuff, Sailor Moon, whatever. But
Mm.
like whenever like 15 years ago or so when I was like, you know what, let me see what Netflix and Hulu talking about. It was Princess Tutu. Of course Attack on Titan was in there somewhere. Okay, so you were real okay. Princess Tutu rings a bell for you?
Yes, it does. I'm just laughing. That's all. Yes, go on.
No, and then Kenichi, the mightiest
Hmm.
disciple, and I think that that was actually, though my son, he's 16 now, he
Hmm.
claims My Hero Academia, but when he was littler, when he was younger, like he would sit and he would watch Kenichi with me for sure, and I absolutely loved that show. It was a great way to start.
Hmm.
But what about you? Tell me about
Uh,
what were some of the first anime you sat and watched?
Ooh, goodness me. First anime I sat and watched. Okay, so to keep me out of trouble, um, my older brother's friends kind of sat me down to watch Dragon Ball at first, but
Hmm.
if I say the first anime I ever saw point blank period, it was Sailor Moon. Um, and then I got hooked on Dragon Ball, and then I was watching Outlaw Star and basically anything that was on TV at the time when I was younger. Um, which is like kind of funny. Just side note, I remember learning how to draw Dragon Ball characters, and my mother came around and was like, "What in the world is this stuff you're looking at? That looks like Astro Boy." And I was like, "Mom, what the heck is that?" And of course, years later, I find out like Astro Boy is one of the first anime to ever air. Um, but yeah, no, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Outlaw Star, and there was one more show in particular I was watching faithfully. It's gonna, I don't know why it's away from me right now, but it's gonna come in my head and I'm gonna be like, ah, later on. So,
It's going to be like
mm-hmm.
something obvious like Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, yep, definitely Cowboy Bebop. Definitely Cowboy Bebop.
Okay. All right. I'm a psychic. I can read your mind.
Oh my
Listen.
lord.
So the way that I met you, first of all, before we even get into that, well, this is the segment of the podcast where we introduce art. Okay. So right now, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a previous live stream or something. I started on a Killer Bee piece,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm just gonna keep working on it today because I never finished it. Um,
Okay.
and my guest today, I was not the best host. Usually I'll send the canvas out from the Commercive collection. And just as a reminder, you guys, Commercive is my business. Commercive aims to create inclusivity for the anime community, not only in social settings, but in the creator space and in media as well. Hence Anime and Paid Cocktail Hour. So I actually have a really, really gifted god brother. His name is Rogelio. Shout out to him. And he makes the art for my business, excluding this. He did not make this, and he did not make the Sailor Moon. But I usually will send that art to my guests, and I did it this time. But how will you improvise today? What will you be working on?
Me? I don't know. We're gonna putting pencil to paper. I haven't done that specifically in a little while, so I'll probably just be drawing a character from my imagination at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay, imagination is one of the most beautiful places one can draw from. So we shall see. So let's get down to some of the nitty gritty. So I met you at BlerdCon, something that I really want to talk about. Um, and immediately after meeting you, went on to your social media just to check out what you're about. First of all, at BlerdCon, I believe that you were playing guitar. You had like a whole musical panel or segment.
It,
And then you also, if I'm not mistaken, you have an online presence where you do, fun skits like BBW State. Uh, are you embarrassed about your work?
I'm not. I'm not embarrassed. I'm just. Sometimes when it comes to the nonsense, I I'm a lot more surprised that people actually laugh and they carry it with them, and I'm like, oh Jesus Lord.
I don't know what we carry it with us, and that's definitely we wanted to carry that into this episode. So we'll talk about your BlerdCon presence in a minute,
Mhm.
but I wanted to kind of do a little icebreaker into the main part of the episode. And first of all, what inspired BBW State? Is that what
All
you're into? You into BBWs?
right. So when it comes to this whole university series that I have been doing, I took a little break from it for a while, but I just decided to put together like a bunch of universities that had like suggestive themes, and BBW
Hmm.
State wasn't even the first one. At first, it was like a lot more straightforward. It was Pound Town University, and like go Hammers. But
Come on.
I ended up writing out a whole bunch of names, and then over a year ago, actually, I told a friend of mine, Carlos, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing something called BBW State, since I mean, like his whole thing is he like, hey, I do too, but he likes a bigger woman. And I was just like, I'm thinking about doing BBW State, and he was just like, "Go Fupas." I'm like, sir," and so I went over to his house. I'm like, we're gonna do this, right? Like, you're gonna have to do that, like, because he used to play football actually. So I was like, I'm gonna need you to stand up and act like you're an athlete and say it exactly how you said it. And he
Yeah.
did, and I made like the logo and everything, and yeah, it kind of just went nuts from there. And then I started making more and more of these crazy universities, and gosh, like people just started jumping on. People are getting the merch. They're coming up with their own names as athletes for
Yeah.
these teams. And I'm
Okay.
like, yo, this is taking on a life of its own, to the point that I ended up doing I would call it the Pro Bowl, where every once in a while I would get people together and say, hey, send me a email of a video of you acting, saying your nickname and what university you represent, and I'll put a whole video of it together, almost like how Key and Peele did that skit back in the day, where they were saying crazy names for East and West. And
Okay.
yeah, then it was just something I was doing for a while, and then I chilled out on it, and then I bought it back recently, like right before BlurCon. So
Yeah. That's the time to do it because the girl, baby, there's a lot of thick ones at BlurCon as well. So definitely time. So let me ask you a question, kind of deviating from that. Now, and I'll join in this too. It's not just an interview. We can definitely paint, draw, and talk. But what are some anime characters that you could see being into BBWs?
Oh my goodness, that's
I'll tell you right
it's
now, I think Vegeta as a new Dragon Ball Z fan. Now I ain't seen enough yet. I feel like Vegeta is training for a reason. I have never met
I'm a
a hella fitness dude that didn't want to pick something up. Okay, do
I'm
something
gonna
to do
be
something.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. If a certain character did not exist, um, I would totally agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Bulma?
Yeah. If Bulma did not exist, I would agree with that. Only because, let's be honest here, Vegeta's with Bulma. This is really my opinion. Vegeta's with Bulma because she got there first. Like, I,
Vegeta's with Bulma because she had the money and he didn't have a place to stay.
she got there first, and yes, okay, there's that. But she got there first. Who else was hollering at Vegeta?
Baby, with other people hollering, I know. Bulma's mama was in on the heist to get Vegeta. She'd be serving him food and go do his laundry, baby. Yeah.
He probably hit. That's just, I don't. Oh my goodness. Oh my
No,
goodness.
no,
Yeah.
he
Okay.
grapple with two something. I believe so. Personal
Yeah.
head canon.
Yeah.
About you,
What's that boy's name from Inuyasha? I think he would be. God damn it! Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna type it in right now.
the one that kind of joined the group like a little later on the show.
I
The
think Koga
curvy
would
one.
be. I honestly think Koga would be.
Yeah,
I think he messed with some BBWs. he got a lot. He got a lot of energy going on.
that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
It's like, hey man, you gotta you gotta release some of that somewhere over here.
Okay. I think Toto from JJK. Oh yeah, he got that
Okay.
top knot. He live for a thick one. I know it. I know it.
Yeah. I think I think what's that boy? The second JoJo. Joseph. I think so. I think if he had a big lady, he wouldn't have been cheating.
See, for some reason, I cannot get into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I'll let you know that one.
No, hey, listen, understandable. So it took me a while to get into JoJo because I had a scenario where
Okay.
years ago I was watching like Sonic AMVs, and I was having a really good day with my best friend, and you know how YouTube has its suggested videos, and in the suggested videos, it said Berserk final scene, like of the original run. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I never seen this before. Let's go ahead and check it out to see if we want to see the rest of the show. Well, looked at it, was traumatized, and for some odd reason, I didn't want to see any anime that had bulging men since. I like it put me on a entire. I was on like 2 years of just watching rom-coms, slice of lives, and just no, I didn't want to see nothing. I was like, no, if they big, if they scream, if they bleed, I don't want to see it. I'm good. Like
Make it one.
I was good. So of course JoJo with his bold lines and super huge dudes at the time, nowadays it's like with every season of JoJo, the characters get skinnier and skinnier and more
Okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like considering, for no spoilers for people who haven't watched the show yet, it's just like you don't really have to be Mr. Macho Man anymore to be that guy in JoJo.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, who else? Who else would be in the big? Who's the guy from One Punch Man?
Saitama?
Silver. No, not Saitama.
The robot one? He's like, I'm about to type more. While you
Yep,
do that, Kashi,
Kakashi.
there was not enough thick. There, I have a theory now. Again, my own personal headcanon. I didn't see many thick. There was no thick women in the Hidden Leaf. That's why he was just locked down reading books and stuff.
Yeah, he was in
Kakashi,
his own
for
way.
sure. A good
Yeah,
BBW thick woman smelled like vanilla. Yeah, that would definitely smell like vanilla. You know what I'm saying? She wear the layer, the vanilla mist layer with the oil. Yeah.
yeah, he wouldn't have
In that
came
flavor.
outside no more. Um,
No, he
he would
wouldn't have.
not have come outside. Well,
He would
Jiraiya
have
would be too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jiraiya,
I was about to
Jiraiya
go
just
there
like
too.
women, but I know he like a big woman.
He was big and he was big and healthy himself. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Sturdy. Sturdy.
Not sturdy.
Sturdy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, who was you talking about? Gino from One
Not
Punch Man?
Genos, no. What's that man's name? Oh my god. Hunchman. Here we go. Not him. God almighty, only because I haven't seen the show in a while and I don't want to butcher this guy's name. Starts with a G. God. Garo? I don't remember how to say his name, dude.
It's all good.
Yeah. I think he would
Yeah.
be. But I don't know. Anybody that got spiky hair would definitely be. But
Anyone with a mask, just a very cool and calm
not
demeanor. Never
anyone with
lost
a
it.
mask is crazy.
Yeah. Anyone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
anyone with a
But,
mask. That's half the Anbu in
ah,
Naruto.
I couldn't see Itachi being with a big woman. Itachi
Yeah,
looks like he get an attitude.
Itachi looked like he needs somebody like as in the mix as him. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know.
He not gonna be willing to train his woman. She gonna have to have impressed him with
Yeah, she
how
gonna have to
athletic she
already be
is.
there.
Yeah.
That's
He gonna
he
have to
on that
walk in and tell him the pull-ups. And she gonna be
he
like,
on that
"Come
Kazuya
here, buddy,
Mishima
girl."
style stuff, man. You gotta already be strong.
Right. Look, okay.
Oh
So
man.
speaking of, thank you so much for engaging me there. So let's talk about BlerdCon. All right. So first, let's start off. How was your experience?
My experience with BlurCon was good. I mean, every year I have a lot of fun. It's like the cookout for me. Big old
Okay.
family reunion. I get to come, I get to dance, I get to sing, I get to just do whatever the heck I want to do. And this year was the first year I took, what was it, 1 year off
Hmm.
that I performed. And, they always take pretty good care of me. The whole Sunday service thing that was a brand new thing. So it was just funny because I was like, okay, you have an idea, because they told me well before they announced it that they had the idea of it and they were going to book a few bands. And I was like, oh, Sunday service, but when is this happening? Oh, Sunday morning. I'm like, who's performing? And then they told me who was performing. I was like, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all, you gonna call this Sunday service, and you gonna have Breezy and Hugh playing. Oh, this about to be the most unholy time.
Okay. I live
like,
for melodies from heaven at the most ratchet event that you could think of. I live for that. I live for how they
she
do
said
that.
melody.
Okay. Brain. Okay.
You
A
said, you mind if I
singular
praise God
word.
real quick?
Okay. Does anybody love them? Anybody?
Oh
Look.
no.
But you
Mm-mm.
know, I've been contemplating. Should I tell this story? But I'm kind of a crazy person. You'll find out. Before I tell it, I'm going to take a shot because this is the cocktail hour. All right.
Should I need tequila.
Go ahead
Even
and
though I'm
get
a whiskey
some.
man. You know
Go ahead
what?
and get some. Let's take a
Hold on.
quick,
I'm gonna get me a shot, and I'm gonna do it with you.
okay,
Hold on, real quick,
a
because later
quick,
on today I have another podcast, mine, and
oh,
me and my lady drink our tails off and talk that talk. But give me a
oh
second.
yeah, get started pregame. And a quick message from our sponsors, which is me. Hey everyone, I'm the only one sponsoring this thing, but you can help and you can change that. If you enjoy what you've seen so far, if you enjoy anime content, hell, if you just enjoy seeing a black woman grind to get what she wants, because I do more than podcasting now. I do events for the community because we didn't have them before a few years ago. Feel free to hit me up. And your sponsorship could be anything. It could be you coming on the show for all I care, because I do love to connect with other creators and other people in the community. So if you have maybe a product that you want people to see, heck, even a creator to get their eyes on, if you have a show that you just started and you just wanted to cross promote, if you have some money, even feel free. I am not picky. Anyway,
Did I
back to
hear
our show.
money? All I heard was, listen.
If you got
I,
money, that's what
I
that is exactly what was said.
I believe
All
in
right.
manifestation. This is why every
Yes.
day for the past month and a half, I wake up and I immediately go, cash.
Has it helped?
Oh
Has it
yeah.
helped?
Oh yeah.
I need to start doing it. All right. So cheers
Wait.
to that. Cheers to cash. Yes. All right.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. Mm-hmm. No, not you, Andrew.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Andrew took his. And shout out to Andrew. All
That's that
right. Get your you
reposada.
good? Oh no, honey. I can't do all that hard yellow stuff.
See,
Reposada had you
I'm a
fight.
whiskey man. I'm a whiskey
Yeah.
man, but my lady's a
Yeah.
tequila lady. So
Yes. Come on, lady. I know that's
I'm
right.
like, oh, you, you do heinous things.
You do, and you like it. That's why you stuck around. That's why you
Oh
stuck around,
Lord.
stuck
Well,
around.
yes, yes.
Yes. But I will say, this I'll create this opportunity since we just talked about sponsorship. Um, so I do a plug at the end of every episode, and I let Megan the Stallion know that I'm trying to talk to you, ma'am. So we just had some tequila shots, and they were not chicas divertidas. And I would love to have that on the show. So, Miss Ma'am, I would love to talk to you. Anyway, back to our show. BlerdCon. Do. It was my first year at BlerdCon, okay? So,
Oh.
yes, it was. You know, I'm from Texas. So, we do DreamCon here, and which I will
I
be
was a
doing.
DreamCon last year. Lord God Almighty.
What that mean? Tell me that real quick.
Oh, you said we had some thickness at BlerdCon. I was like, whoa, Lord God Almighty, when I was a dream. Oh man, yeah,
And I
I
know
was in a
exactly.
heartbroken state though, so I was like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go on back to my hotel room and leave these people alone. Thank y'all for being thick. God dang it.
I've told this story. There was this extreme, like, Have you ever seen somebody that is so thick that you can feel the gust of air as they ass swing behind you? I
Just
was on the street, right? Not. I'm like, what was that? That was not the winds. Winds coming from the east. What is this extra wind, right?
it's a disturbance in the
So,
force, is what it is.
I said, like, I promise you, I tell the story every chance I get. I was outside. We had just had a panel. Me and my son, my 15-year-old son at the time. We do a panel at DreamCon. You know, fingers crossed for this year. And I noticed as we were outside just kicking it, the people like in front of us, everybody started pulling their cameras out and started averting their attention behind us. And I was like, okay, what is happening? And then I hear a door close to a car. I turn around and this woman's body comes out. And then her ass comes out seemingly like a few significant seconds later.
Hey, wait a
And, it,
minute.
and I'm pretty sure that as I saw it coming out, it took a few more significant seconds to fully exit. And I was like, what in the hell is this here? Mind you, my son is with me. So my flabbers are gasted. I just hear shit, like just at the top of people's lungs in the street. And I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, that's what it'd be like, I guess, for men. But yes, definitely a booty separate from body type of situation that does go down. And we the South. But I feel like, we had a fair share of that at BlerdCon as well. Maybe not to that extreme. But I had a time. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Um, and if you're not aware, BlerdCon is basically a hotel party that utilizes two major hotels. So we stayed at the Hilton, which was about a block away from the main spot. And then the Hyatt had a lot of the main shenanigans. So what we're talking about is we get up and we head over to the spot. It has to be noon, maybe a little earlier than that. You already can hear music playing from the outside because there's an outside section with food trucks circling it, and there's a DJ. So it's like a block party, more food trucks in the main street. You go inside the lobby of the Hyatt, and you can hear music from every direction. Now, the main DJ is in the basement. There's about three major levels of the hotel, and you can hear the music on every level. Now, if you go to certain places, little corners of the hotel area, you'll not hear any of the music anymore, but you'll hear different music played by a different DJ. And I was just simply impressed by how did y'all do that? How comes I can't hear the main music no more? Now I hear Redman, I'll be dead. And there go Redman to the left, next to his DJ and his music. Now, if you get there a little later, you do all your panels and you have your fun, and you're up, and you're like, you know what? It might be time for a lie baby. And you get to the lobby, now there's a bumper clock party happening. The Jamaicans have taken over the lobby. And I don't think those were professional DJs or anything. I think that was just somebody DJ from a damn, bodega or some bashment. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, I couldn't hear the rest of the music no more. I just heard, that's all I hear. And there's a whole different demographic of people standing right at that lobby dancing their ass off. Now, let's say the time transitions to about 11:30, 12. Now, all this time I'm wondering, where's the police? Because there's too much noise going on. Are there not people staying at the Hyatt Hotel? Are they not concerned about all that's happening? It just seemed like the whole community was in on it. So we go outside now, 11:30, 12, and there's a completely different DJ by ways of somebody's phone. They may have a whole Spotify DJ playlist, perhaps SoundCloud. Now you're listening to, well, I'll be special and I'll be rare with a smile and a ribbon in my, and I'm like, okay, I'm too overwhelmed by just the stimuli of this much turn up in different categories at this point for an entire day. Not tired at all. So as time goes on, let's say Saturday night, I end up linking up with a friend. Shout out to, and we are having, you know what? I shouldn't have said his name. Let me tell you why I shouldn't have said his name. Because the way that the story about to go, I just didn't want to rat him out. We gonna cut his name out. But we have I was with a friend, okay, and because I don't give a damn about my business. DJ Dave, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
DJ, maybe the DJs are immaculate. The DJs are immaculate. There is nothing like this anywhere. Okay, and it's for free 99 outside of your ticket. You throwing ass. I'm throwing ass. We throwing ass. I don't. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying the people was throwing
I be
ass.
throwing ass.
Throwing ass too. Shit, we was throwing ass. Okay. Hey, come on. Okay, throwing ass, and I'm like, okay, well, that was fun. I think I need a break from throwing ass. Leave. Run into my friend, and we're like, you know what? What's going on in the movie screening room? Mind you, it's like 1 a.m. at this point. So I walk in, and all I see is dick and booty and pussy immediately. Animated. Hentai, baby. Live
Yeah,
screen
yeah. Around that time, yeah.
was floored. I was like, immediately?
Let me tell you something. So
Screaming.
I think it was my second Blurred Con. I Nope, it was my first Blurred Con. I was invited to perform, and like I'm walking around, kind of. No, I already performed, and I'm just walking around trying to see what's going on, but I had no idea what to do. And a friend of mine was just walking with purpose, and I'm like, my friend Cecily, shout out Cec, I love you to death. So she's walking with
Oh,
purpose, and I'm like, hey Cecily, where you headed? Going to see some titties. I'm like, what? So I was like, well, I'm gonna find out where these titties are, and I just started following her, and then somebody started following me, and we are just walking like Ed and Eddie, and then we walk in that room, and I'm like, oh, you meant okay, all right, didn't know they did this here. Okay, cool.
okay. I was floored. And it was a commentary. It was a time of a life. It was a time of a what is it? It was a time of a lifetime to me. Cuz one of the weirdest things about me since I was a literal child is that I live for the energy that other people are putting out in a certain space. Like I am super empathic. So like it's not about the actual thing that's happening on screen. That's not a big deal to me. But it's about being in a room where that's packed, by the way, of people that
Yeah,
are just hanging out watching this amongst their peers. So there's commentary. There was a dude that was like, who got some lotion? There's enough black people in here. I know somebody got some damn lotion. And I think that at a certain point, the host was like, let me see some ass. And I was like, you know what? I am wearing a onesie and my ass is out. Here, ma'am. Here's the ass you've requested.
here you go. Boom.
Just threw it at her. And I was just like, this may not be exactly what you wanted, but here is the one that I have, making the best of all situations. And she was just like, girl, I'm gonna cup it. And I was like, yeah, I guess this is what people do in here.
Let me tell you
So I
something.
got,
The thing about Blurred is if there's one thing you're gonna see is some boot hair up in there. There was one year, actually was it last year? Was it last year? No, it was the year before last year. Um I'm pretty sure you went. You said you was throwing ass, so I'm pretty sure you went to either the Friday night or the Saturday night parties. Those things are freaking nuts. And I remember it was me and my friend Create Lady J. Shout out to her. Outside of there, we're just talking to people that know both of us from social media, and there were guys coming out. My drummer was coming out, and behind him were some cats, and one dude was just like, "Oh, there's so much booty in there! Oh my goodness!" And I'm like, "Is it your first time? You good? You need some water? You need some water?"
were they like dehydrated, overwhelmed,
Bruh,
thirsty as hell?
he's about to fall out. I'm like, "Yo, oh my god." You ain't sturdy right now, are you? Okay, well, welcome to BlurredCon, man. Welcome to BlurredCon. It's gonna be there, so if you need it, it's on demand.
Listen, a time. But what was crazy to me is that the last vibe I felt was a sexual one. Everybody was just having fun with the notion of we're doing this thing right now, and it's
Yeah,
kind of
listen,
crazy.
the cats that are uh, if you're going to get into that situation, then because it happens at conventions all the time, but if you're going to get in that situation, you know who's about that. You already know who's about that at Blerd. You 1,000% do. There, no one there wants no awkward situation. We already got enough. Like, we already got enough. We don't need anything ridiculous going on. So, yeah, if it happens for people, it happens for people. But it is all just straight up fun. People just want to be out there. They want to have a good time and just be in a safe space at the end of the day. And I remember earlier you were talking about, like, wow, the cops haven't been called. Well, BlerdCon has, over the years, I think now they actually have that hotel exclusive to the event. Because beforehand, earlier on, they would have BlerdCon there, but you would see other people still coming through to the hotel, and they're just wondering what the heck is going on, especially Virginians. Oh, black people. Oh, what's happening? Oh my goodness. Ass, it's everywhere. Charles, don't you look at that. But baby, it's jiggling. Like, you know. But yeah, you see a lot less of that now. So it's just, they know it's party time. They know it's party time. So everybody's just having a good old time. And like you say, there's music everywhere. You could be as chill as you want, or you could be as lit as you want. Everybody's just trying to have a good time and go home. Cause, what was it? The year that Janelle Monáe came, that was stupid lit within itself. I ended up being on her security team during the Saturday night party, of which they didn't tell me that's what they had me there for. And I'm like, I have on slip and slide loafers. If somebody wanted to knock me over, they could. So, it's like, okay, yeah, whoop-de-doo, martial artists here or not, but y'all didn't tell me what was happening here. But luckily for me, when they did tell me, like, hey, you know, we're gonna have you out in the crowd, you know, as one of the team members around her, so no one bum rushes her, so she can have a good time. I was like, oh, really, are you? And then some guys, some big dudes came with me, hey, T, you need some? I was like, yeah, come on, we gonna do this. So while I'm like standing near her, making sure nobody else is coming around, my guys are next to me. One dude, shout out to Nick. I don't know how he did it, but you want to talk about throwing ass at BlerdCon. This dude's dancing with 3 women, looking like he on a rodeo horse. Oh Lord. Just trying to keep people. He's trying to make a perimeter while dancing with these women. I'm like, Nick, you good? I think so. Throws me his shirt. Now there's a video online of me holding a shirt next to Janelle, just like.
Was it sweaty?
Yeah, yes, totally sweaty. And it's like, and it's just him, just oh Lord. I'm like, oh, good God Almighty. I'm like, that's a lot of ass, Nick.
That's what it's about. That is what it's about.
But it was a party.
So
she had a good time. Janelle had a good time.
I'm glad she did. It is a good time. I think that while like there were funny times, mind you, when I was in that room, I saw a very well-known figure just chilling like he was in his living room. And my social battery, let me tell you something. My social battery was kaput. If I had just a little more, I would have been like, excuse me, you having fun? Come on the pod. But the Lord knew, like, girl, just let that man enjoy himself. And I went on with my life. But I think that one of the things that stood out to me outside of just, you know, the fun that was had is that there were a lot of creators there just living their life. And I came to a conclusion that the Blerd community is becoming its own, how do I say, hub for entertainment. How do you feel about that? Like, like it's like, oh, AO, like AO. That's what one of my friends referred to you as. Is that what people call you? I just kind of made that up because I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Some will say AO, but it's Aoxus, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but people will be like, you know, AO, like he's funny. I'm trying to see about that BBW state. You know, then others will be like, you know, Power Plant Poppy, you know, he's funny with, you know, his Killer Bee and all that. Then, you know, there's Nakia Renee, I think that's how you say her name. Like, you know, her cosplay's fire, she's cute, all that. And it's just like we're beginning to have our own areas. Like we've been able to fill different areas of entertainment for ourselves. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's great. it's something that has been there, but it's coming more to the forefront, I should say. And one thing I do like about it, I mean, every scene has its weirdness, but it's
Yeah,
like not only do you have all these creators, a lot of these creators are fans of each other and they're
exactly.
very supportive of each other, which I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, like, 'cause, you know, anywhere you go, I don't care if it's in the comedy scene, in the music scene, even in the martial arts scene, things like that. There's always somebody that's looking for a leg up, or they think the best way to get up is to tear someone else down. But
Yeah.
it's shown that if you come together and just understand, like, hey, everybody has their thing, and just let them do their thing. If you're entertained by it, if you thought it was funny, cool. That's fine. You don't gotta be Mr. Cool Guy in the room or Mr. Holier than Thou. You don't have to be that person.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely adds to, of course, it adds to entertainment. It just adds to the joy of everything, and that, a joyful heart is good medicine. That's how I look at it. It adds to that. It adds to, you know, the creativity of others. It inspires creativity within others. I just think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Do you think that there's any danger to this community with rising competition and visibility from bigger businesses that will kill that?
Good
Could
night.
kill
Wow,
that.
my mic picks up everything.
I was like, did he fall
Yeah.
asleep?
No, 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 no. So craziest thing is, even before the fight, I've been like fighting a cold for a long time, and my body's just like, oh yeah, you're slowing down now. You're gonna get it. I'm like, oh, crap. But um, I think anytime anytime there is competition, especially when it comes to the powers at be within any community or in any space, there's going to be some type of resistance once you get to a certain point, especially if you don't want to play ball. So I think we have a lot more information available to us than before. So the best thing I can say is, artists, protect yourselves. Okay. And if there's any scenario that is confusing to you, just consult someone you trust, especially a professional, whether it's legal or anything like that, to move forward. But I do think that this scene is definitely going to rise in a way that it's going to get the attention of others. I mean, think about it. You have different creators who are now being thrown into situations or invited to situations that we never had before. So I think it could be a good thing and a bad thing. It's just be aware, be cognizant, and protect yourself, because entertainment industry in general can chew you up and spit you out. Just don't get lost.
That's a really good way to end that. I think not necessarily end the episode, but end that
Mm.
thought. Um, I want to lighten the mood, but before I lighten the mood, I wanted to ask you: do you have any advice besides that? Let's transition from the legal perspective and creative
Mm-hmm.
perspective to the person perspective, because I think that these young men and women, again, where they're gaining popularity in a way that they never have before, there's a lot within themselves that they need to check, probably that they never have. You was just working at Kinko's. Do Kinko's still exist? You know, somewhere like that. And Pizza Hut, honey. And now you have 40 million, 240 million, child. I think I exaggerated, went all the way up. 200,000, 500,000, followers.
Mm.
How do you, the question will be, what advice do you have for someone who is experiencing this level of visibility as far as how to keep themselves grounded?
Don't forget your humanity, and don't forget that you're surrounded by humans. You may not know everyone else's intention, but be intentional with how you move. I'll say, don't allow the fluff to become the forefront of your life. I will say that I've been to a few conventions with other creators where, unfortunately, some people mark out for their own gimmick. Like you don't really know if they're being themselves around you. Um, and especially if people are around or if a camera's around, they feel like they have to turn it on. And
Yeah.
I think if you have to turn it on all the time, you have to constantly have you need something else there that's constantly going to check you to bring you back to earth. Um, and like me, I'm the same guy wherever I go. There is no turning it on. The only time there's a turn it on, I have to be on stage and it's a specific song I'm playing that is an original of mine. There's something that I'm unlocking there, and I'm bringing you people into that world. But outside of that, I'm the same person. Like when I was at DreamCon last year, there were people that, while I was walking around, I had no idea how many people really looked at my stuff. Like there were some people screaming for me and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, oh hey, how's it going? And there were some cats that thought that like maybe I had like a group or I would have a posse or I would have something. I'm like, nah, I'm just here, dude. Like, and the groups of people that others saw me with, I'm like, I just met these cats and I just had lunch with them and we're just having a good time because I'm talking to people. Now I'm more of an introverted character than anything. I am. But I all I know is I like seeing smiles on other people's faces.
Hmm.
And if I can make that happen, then that means the reason I share the stuff that I do, the mission's complete on that point. There's nothing else that comes with that for me. I don't care about the numbers. People ask me about the numbers all the time. How do I get more followers? How do I do this? I'm like, listen, I think personally, you just need to worry about being yourself first. If you're worried about just being on, you have the wrong idea in mind. If you're worried about just being on, if you're worried about just being popular, because if that's the case, you're going to do anything to get it. And sometimes that price might not be something you really want to pay.
And in
So,
essence, if you're just worried about a number going up and you've lost your bottom line or never really had one to begin with, then you're literally in a mass capacity looking for validation.
mm-hmm,
And it's almost like just the act of watching those numbers go up is your drug, is your purpose. And that just means that you're liable to do anything and be anyone just to get that number up. One of the things that has sickened me, and I mean sickened, okay? I'm being so for real right now, is watching this take over just people in their day-to-day lives. Like, and mind you, I'm going to be very honest. I've recently had a spike in my engagement because I started watching Dragon Ball Z, and it's caused people to be more, engaged with me or whatever. Really, I just started it because I wanted more attention and more stock in the algorithm for when I have my events. But I've had to check myself and be like, am I here just because I want people to like me or, you know, like what I do? And it's like, I've had to ground myself with, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, and that's why, like, there have been times where I've had friends more experienced in this be like, hey, delete that video. Because from the bottom of my heart, I love to connect with people. That's why I do. This is not my first podcast. I've had other I have another podcast right now. It's just not in season. I genuinely love talking to people, learning their lives, letting them get to know me too. Human connection is the most important thing to me in this world. So I know that when I look at some of the things that people say under my videos, it brings me joy because I'm like, oh man, like I don't have a ton of people to talk to about this thing, and to be understood in this way really brings me joy. But I definitely don't want it to be like I'm looking at the stats all the time and, trying to see like, oh, am I, who's watching and who's doing this? And, I just feel like, how can you justify that when it comes down to the very end?
mm-hmm,
Like, what was your purpose this whole time? Just to get followers? What did that do? It filled some hole that you got in your heart. think more black men, especially black women too, because we're talking about the Blerds, need to really look into maybe, having a therapist or, having people to really hold them accountable as they're transitioning into this new world because you can get lost in it.
Yes, it can do that. Like, one of the first things I tell people is the difference between me now, my presence online now, and before I blew up or popped off or whatever, is literally just the consistency and me sharing a little bit more. I'm like, this stuff that y'all see online right now, a lot of these things are ideas that I had over a decade ago. These are things that I was doing over a decade ago. I just didn't care to share it as often. I didn't care. I was more in love with doing it, or just if you see me collabing with friends, stuff like that. Like, these are things that we would do just to get a laugh out of it. We didn't really care about any of the other stuff. Like, oh man, other people gonna see this and they're gonna. We didn't care. I'm like, this is just who we are. This is what we do. Or these are things that we would act out, and not a camera would be in a room. So I'm like, that's where it comes down to. I'm like, if social media went down right now, like no more social media, well, I'm fine. Like, first of all, I have too many other hobbies and skills that keep the cogs moving in my head, that keep my interest, that, I'm like, there's always something else to do. So that's kind of what keeps me grounded. I'm like, there's always something else to do, but also do what brings you joy. Or if you feel like you have a message, I mean, some people got some crazy messages out here, and you feel like it could help someone else or something like that, hey, go ahead and, spew it out. Like, what the funniest thing about me is the stuff that made me blow up on the internet wasn't even like just the suggestive jokes. I was making comical content about men's mental health, like, like progressing as a man. I literally had a series called the Men's Progression Series, and what it was is like the idea of a younger man talking to a older seasoned man, and the seasoned man would tell him like, hey, this isn't what you should be doing, XYZ and XYZ, and the younger man would pretty much just mouth off exactly what you shouldn't do, as far as like like just toxicity of how he's going to respond to certain things in life. And at the end of it, the older guy would just be like, hey, here's your solution. And then it would always end in like an expletive or something like that. It's like, I think one time it ended with, hey, I think you should seek therapy. And the younger guy's like, they didn't seek therapy, why should I? And the older guy's like, bitch, I said therapy, And it's like, it's like stuff like that. It would make people look at, especially men, it would make them look at it from a light of, okay, this guy isn't just trying to spew riffraff at me, like he's funny about it, but clearly there's something he can connect with, and I can connect with it too, because I've had people disagree with me on certain things, and then we talk about it. I'm like, I just wanted to open up the conversation. Honestly, that's where a lot of my content came from in the first place. Like, some people think like, oh yeah, you're viral on Instagram or TikTok. I'm like, that's not the first place I ever went viral at all. I was viral on Twitter for rapping about MMA fighters. That's what happened. And when people ask like, oh, did you want to like, were you trying to gain attention? I'm like, actually, no. What I wanted to do was be included in conversations on the web about fighters, and just the analytics behind combat sports in general. Like, I'm a big combat sports fan outside of being a martial artist. So normally when you come online, especially unfortunately, and this was just earlier on, as a black guy, and you're talking about, oh yeah, this fighter, you might run into a couple of people that are weird, or just people in general that want to act like, oh, this is the group of cats that are the MMA media, and we know the most about this, so you can stay you're not a part of the clique. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a part of the clique, so I want to talk about this MMA stuff. How do I do it? Well, everybody and their mom has a podcast where they're talking about the punches and the kicks, and this guy's going to beat this guy. How about I make music talking about how this guy's going to beat this guy, and I'm going to predict it on every card every week, and I'm not just going to talk about the main fighters. I'm going to talk about the fighters that you can't even pronounce their name. And that's what made people open up to me, because they're like, you know a lot and you're breaking it down in musical form. I'm like, oh, mission complete. This wasn't about being popular. This is about relaying to you, hey, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's it. So find your path. I know that was a long way for me to say that, but find your way. That's it. It doesn't always have to be the same footsteps somebody else took. Like, sometimes there's some cookie cutter things that you can do, but at the end of the day, be you.
Let that ground you too. That's the
Yep.
point.
Mm-hmm. There are people that talk about that to this day, wondering when's the next time I'm going to do it. Like, including UFC fighters who have tagged me. It's guys that I talk to nowadays that I never thought I'd talk to ever. And I'm like, oh, I'm a fan of yours. When are you doing the next one?
Tomorrow.
We'll see about that. Okay, this guy's last name is what? I don't know how I'm going to rhyme that.
That's awesome. That's the goal. Um, so I wanna thank you so much for being here, for sharing all of that with us. Honestly, like, this has been a fun conversation, and I appreciate you for playing along. So let's end it with something lighthearted, and then you can tell us what you got coming up. So, I've been thinking about this for a while. I'm gonna take it back to BlerdCon. That was one of our main focal points.
Mm-hmm.
What are some anime characters that you think would be at BlerdCon?
That I think would be a BlerdCon.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Favorite
Well,
word.
the easy answer is Killer Bee. Easy
Oh,
answer is
right,
Killer Bee.
right. Shout
Let's see. Oh my goodness. I think that Meliodas would be a BlerdCon.
Oh yeah, nasty
He would
ass.
be. Yep. He'd be crawling all over everything. It don't make no daggone sense. Um
Itadori.
little idiot.
Yuji Itadori would be there.
Oh
He'd be there
hell
for the
yeah.
turn up. He'd be there for the
Straight for the
turn up.
turn.
Okay.
Oh my god. Who else? Who else? Who else? I would
I'll give you
say
one more.
Rock Lee.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I had Rock Lee on my list for who would like BBWs as well. Uh, with that damn jumpsuit, that overall. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. All right, sir. Well, tell me what you have coming up and where the people can find you.
Let's see. What do I have coming up? Oh God! After this fight camp, it is. My mind is in a blur. I have a show coming up for the grand opening of Amplify Creative Studios. That is on April 25th, I believe, in Rockville, Maryland. So that is my next musical performance. We'll see what's going on with other fight news this year, because I told myself that the tournament would be my first and last tournament, and now I'm mad. Not mad, but now I have a little chip on my shoulder, and I might jump back in there again because somebody going to sleep. But
Oh, ooh.
let's see. Do I have any other performances? Not necessarily lined up. I am going to be at some other conventions this year. DreamCon, I'm definitely going to be there. And Simply for the Turn Up. And I might end up on stage with a certain comedian who is doing a musical performance, but you guys will have to. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a surprise. Let me see what else. Yep. Well, you can find me anywhere online at AEOXIS at Aoxis. I'm the only one. So yeah, just stay tuned. I have a couple other things coming out. I know there have been a lot of people asking about my series, When You Didn't Research Your Opponent. When's the next episode of that coming out? Trust me, it's coming back very soon. I do have to finish off the series, and you guys are going to laugh a lot.
I will be returning to events full on this year. I already had my first event. It was a Sunday Fun Day anime and paint event. It was this month for Women's History Month. It was called Bad Bitches of Anime because I come up with titles immediately and never ever revisit them afterwards to make sure that that was actually what I wanted to go with. I'm going to do better this month, or not this month, but in May, I'm going to be having an anime tea party. And that'll be in Austin, Texas, as well as Houston, Texas, because a bitch is expanding. Okay. So more on that. It will be two events in May, honey. So tickets will be released sometime next month. You know, a whole 30 days. But I will definitely let you guys know ahead of time. I will open this event up to the youth. Okay, but I will keep you posted. More episodes of um, Anime and Paint Cocktail Hour will be featuring more creators like Classic Man D, as well as my girl Key. She works for DreamCon to give a bit of a perspective of a creative that has had to turn creativity into revenue, into money. So, lots of interesting things to come. And of course, you'll be able to see this episode in the next week or so. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. Ayo, thank you so much for being here. Tavon. We started with Tavon, now we at Ayo.
Hey, that's fine.
And as always, y'all tell Megan Thee Stallion that I'm trying to talk to her. All right, until next time, bye bye.